absolute best.
Yeah, they had us the first half, I'm not going to lie.
Oh, could be Wayne!
I think I got my swagger back. Oh!
I love it, baby!
Them orange britches. Something about them orange britches.
Tennessee wins! Out by Tennessee, Jawan Jennings. Jennings makes the catch.
Ball hit high in the air into right field. Going back is Sayre. And Tennessee can say hello, win column. A grand slam in the bottom of the ninth. You can't draw it up any better.
We just won a basketball game, and we're very happy right now.
McGrath for the win. He got it. If you don't like college football and you watch this one, I'm not sure what your problem is.
Reddit did to do, and welcome into More Important Issues. It is Sunday, November 3rd. Tennessee once again proves that the Vols don't lose to the Kentucky Wildcats. It does not happen. If you've seen it happen before, it was in an alternate universe where Tennessee once again had a terrible football coach. But when they have a competent man in place, it doesn't happen. And Lady Vols prove once again that Tennessee does not lose to Kentucky. Beat them in the SEC tournament.
It's not a rivalry. Why do Kentucky fans think it is? It's not. It's literally not.
Hold on, you said that words, combination of words. And I don't think it exists. You said Kentucky fans. I don't think there are such thing as a Kentucky fan. Every Kentucky fan online, on the line, on the internet, they're obsessed with Tennessee. All they talk about is Tennessee. It's like fourth grade boys who tell you how gross that girl in the class is. It's all they talk about. They don't ever want to be around her, how mean she is. They just have a crush on her. It's the same thing. They want to be Tennessee fans so bad, but they're too scared to admit it. They're too immature. They don't know how to handle their emotions. No such thing as a Kentucky fan. They're just
now
Tennessee
it's a
fans.
return on investment. Like, you spent so much money on all this blue stuff in your closet. I understand it is hard to probably get rid of all that stuff and like replace it with all these expensive ass. You got a nice jacket there on. How much was that? Probably $80.
Oh, Nike at least.
Yeah. So I mean, I get it, but make the move. And don't make the move when it becomes basketball season. That doesn't make any sense.
It's the Kentucky.
I have so many Super Bowl
on
rings.
Twitter, man. Oh, I mean, I've got what Josh Heupel's brought us 4 now alone.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Butch Jones even won Super Bowls apparently. Which, by the way, I know we'll talk college football. Using transitive property, Butch Jones beat Alabama this year.
Oh, okay.
And I'm sure it could get worse. I'm sure I could find a worse team. I'll stop there because I thought that was so funny.
Okay, so somebody beat Georgia State, and
I had to go 7 or 8 layers to find somebody Arkansas State beat. That also beat Georgia State. That also beat Vanderbilt. That also beat Alabama. Yeah. So I hope we talked about that in his press conference. We're talking,
which also beat Georgia and Texas. So he's literally beaten pretty much everybody.
Arkansas State might be in talks for playoffs.
Everybody else says, why not?
Right. I lost my voice again. I'm hoping this doesn't lead to 2 weeks of sickness again.
Yeah,
that's the prayer.
Poor Joey. Our man is down bad.
Yeah. He got the back end of whatever we had and whatever the rest of the world had. I also have a blister from wearing that big old state championship ring during the game. I was like, I'm wearing this all night and clapping with it on because it's so big. So speaking of Super Bowl rings, Cats fans.
Yeah, we
stayed icy during the game.
We were walking back to the car last night and we passed by Joey's apartment. I was like, he didn't come to the tailgate. And then he texts us today. He's like, I'm so sick.
Made it to the game though, right? He said he toughed it out.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah, I just heard him say he toughed it out during the game. I guess I didn't get if he just was loud from his apartment.
He just went to the game. That's dedication right there if he did that.
Yeah, especially because the student gate looked miserable to get in last night. So definitely. But yeah, fun night on Rocky Top, man. Obviously, first half didn't go the way you wanted to, but you did score.
You did score. Hey, let's clap for that.
Yeah. First half points, baby. First half points.
We're no longer just a second half team.
I didn't like write the stat down, but I texted it to someone, thankfully. So I have the numbers here. Since Arkansas, so Florida, Alabama, Kentucky, Tennessee is outscoring opponents 68-27 in the second half. So Tennessee still is not allowed an opponent to score over 20 points.
So we've scored 68 points in the second half, correct?
Yes, in the last 3 games, including an overtime with Florida.
So that'd be 4 games, right? Are you counting Kentucky?
Florida, Alabama, Kentucky.
I thought you said Arkansas.
Since Arkansas.
Oh, since Arkansas. Okay, sorry.
That was a loss.
Tennessee scored 68 points in the second half and scored 7 in the first half.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's not the 7 is not included in that number.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I saw someone.
All dubs, by the way.
All dubs. It might have been on Reddit, might have been on Twitter. I can't remember. But they said, please, college football playoff, rank second half Tennessee separately from first half Tennessee.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we're number 1 when it comes to second half. So.
Probably. I mean, come on. Yeah,
Georgia's probably up there. They had a really good one against Alabama. Alabama would be a terrible second half team.
Yeah. Not. I didn't check what their scores have been lately, but yeah, not pretty for sure. Yeah, the second half was obviously much more fun. I still think, I hope Josh Pate lays it out again and how many points Tennessee left out on the field, because I mean, just off the top of my head, I think it's close to 30. It's at least you have 21 in drop touchdowns alone.
Yeah.
Which the Miles Kittelman, that was more. It's not so much a drop as it was a good defensive play.
Yeah.
But it was caught in the end zone. It just got pried out. Or pried out's not the right word. Knocked out, I guess.
Yeah,
it was just so hard. I want to find a better adjective for that.
That's one that you probably don't make 9 out of 10 times.
Right.
The other ones you have to make 9
sure.
out of 10 times.
The ball to Brazel was excellent. Tough catch still. Excellent ball.
Just keep running.
The Chaz Nimrod one was I want to pull a video because I'm just pulling some of Nico's elite throws out. I already had the one on the run to Dante Thornton. He had several outside the hashes. I got one to Chaz Nimrod. That Chaz Nimrod made a great catch. It was put only where he could catch it. He made a great catch. Mm-hmm. The one to Chaz Nimrod, the whole play is why Nico is going to be really, really good. Why he looked really good last night. His eyes match his feet the entire play. And he gets over to Chaz Nimrod and then fits it in perfectly. Hits him in the numbers. I mean, every time you talk about an excellent throw when you're looking at a quarterback, you're like, put it on the numbers. I mean, dude, put it between the 11.
Oh yeah,
you got it. And then he would have been off to the races had he caught it.
And that's, I mean, it's backbreaking for a quarterback to have that happen, but it didn't really seem to bother Nico. It's almost like, kind of used to it at this point. And I don't know if that goes back to high school too, because I know he didn't, his high school team was pretty good, but not like where a lot of 5-star quarterbacks come from, like a powerhouse program. Right. It wasn't like that at all. So he's probably used to it a little bit, just having guys drop passes that are right on the money.
Yeah, I mean, he's always seemed level-headed. He seems to never really get too high, too low. So I'm sure, it didn't seem to bother him, which I think is why he's been able to respond so well. But yeah, very, very impressive night from him.
I mean, his best night so far. Can we all agree on that? I think
go ahead.
Statistically, yeah, sure, but just managing the game, and you had a lot of things we were mentioning not go your way, and you continued to I mean, Tennessee didn't really have any big plays. They just drove the football
No,
the entire time. Pretty
Kentucky gashed Tennessee the entire time. It felt like
much.
they lived on not big plays, but back-breaking plays probably is the way I would say. Because not necessarily explosive either, but it felt like they just chunked you a lot.
Yeah, it was like we got them stopped here, and then they would just hit.
I mean, the opening play of the game.
Yeah.
I
I rewatched that, and I'm like, where is everybody? And, like, I don't know if they could block it any more perfectly. I mean,
they did
just
block
a
it really well.
clear lane.
Mhm.
And some of your guys kind of over pursue a little bit and get stuck in traffic. And
Yeah. I do think the talent of Tennessee's defense was on display in the first half. Maybe, I mean, the whole game, but the reason I say really probably the first quarter, Tennessee's defense once again felt very disorganized in the first quarter. It felt, I don't know if Kentucky was throwing enough strange looks at you that, I mean, that touchdown pass, their second drive, they had their tight end lined up as a tackle and we just didn't account for him and he runs wide open. So I don't know what exactly was the cause of it, but Tennessee was able to still play good defense and make plays, being not the most organized version of themselves. And so I think that just shows the talent that this team possesses on the defensive side of the football, which is encouraging. And then obviously they still make big plays. Turnerton had that interception in the first half. You have that fourth down stop, which Mark Stoops, buddy, against this team that can't score, take your points. What are you doing? In the first drive of the football game? What are you doing?
I mean, the first play you ran for 50 yards and then you try to throw it right there. That made no sense to me.
Yeah, on fourth and what? Probably 1.5.
Yeah.
And they just picked up a QB scramble. They just gained like 7 yards on third down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you almost threw a pick in that.
Yeah.
That drive.
Will Brooks almost had you again, buddy.
Yeah. I'm just like,
he bailed you out one time.
Let's go back to it, I guess.
Right. That was crazy. But yeah, this defense just continues to be the stronghold for Tennessee and kind of carry them through, and your offense has done enough so far and did enough once again on Saturday night. I do think, I mean, it's one of those things I wanted to see this offense get closer than they did last night, but again, I feel like they're still taking positive steps currently. Like, I don't feel like they regressed from the Alabama game. So there's hope there. I wanted to see them get clicking more before next week, just because you do have a Mississippi State team who can score. Now, again, your defense is your strong point, so that's positive. But I did want to see them click a little bit more. The Mississippi State defense isn't as good as Kentucky's, so that's another kind of silver lining there as you go into next week. But Nico played a really, really impressive half. And what I was going to say before we started on that was, your offensive line didn't play excellent. I thought they played good. I thought they played well. But Nico still had to make plays with his feet on passing downs, and still had to escape pressure at times, and then got caught up with. Like, he was still facing challenges that you don't necessarily want to see. And I thought they played well. Like, I think that's few and far between plays in that game. But it was a game where your offensive line didn't probably play as good as they did 2 weeks ago now. But and he still played well. So I think that's another positive.
Yeah, I think that's the most kind of impressing part coming out of this game is you're like, coming out of Alabama, you're like, okay, what have we built on? And I feel like the main thing coming out of this Kentucky game is like Nico built on that second half that he had against Alabama.
Yeah.
He looked a lot more comfortable. I don't know. I guess play calling is some of it. They are rolling him out more. They are doing more of that short stuff where I don't know why we got rid of it at some point, but we seem to got it back. Just let Brew be Brew and bully opposing cornerbacks and let him go pick up 6 or 7 yards every time he touches the football. I don't know what's so wrong with that, but it seemed like we kind of got a little bit ahead of ourselves on like, let's chunk play it up like 2022. And it's just a different football team.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
And you don't have those type of receivers. Like Brew was this is no offense to Brew, but he was your third guy.
Yeah.
And like on this team, he shouldn't be. And he isn't. So I just think it's a different way of scoring. But I think the way Tennessee is able to drive the ball, I think that just helps that really good defense out.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Complimentary football. It's a beautiful thing.
I mean, I joked, well, after Arkansas and even Florida, I was like, I don't know if Josh Heupel necessarily wanted to. I think Alabama, and then last night he managed the game really well. You talk about the points being left out. There were 9 points that are undeniably points that disappointing efforts from Max Gilbert. Misses one left, misses one right. You hope that third one you can center up, and misses it left again. Right? I think he did miss it left again.
Yeah.
Overcorrected once again. So, yeah. Disappointing. I hope he can bounce back. I don't know if those 50-plus yarders did some damage in the confidence department, but I think he'll have plenty of opportunities in the next few weeks to make field goals, so hopefully bounces back from that. We'll dive more into this Kentucky game. We're also going to talk about guys who impressed in that one, college football this week. And if you guys got some questions, drop them in the chat. We'll also, of course, do our most important and fail of the week. Before we get into the full show, I want to tell you guys about Grade A Grounds, our local coffee roasting company in Kingsport, Tennessee. Owned and operated by 2 educators in the Johnson City area. Being educators, they want to support the community and students. They do that by giving back 5% of all sales to a nonprofit organization called Coalition for Kids there in the Tri-Cities. That money goes directly towards keeping a classroom at Coalition for Kids stocked with the necessary supplies needed for students. Another cool thing you'll see with Grade A Grounds is on their bags of coffee. You will see labels made by students in those Coalition for Kids classrooms. Great way to show off their artistic talents. Just another way to support that community there in the Tri-Cities area. We appreciate Grade A Grounds. Great partner, but also all that they do in the community. Make sure you guys go check them out. Volsicle, still on sale, only on sale during football season, so make sure you get that. Or you can try my personal favorite, B is for Blueberry. Go check them out right now. Use promo code GOVOLS, capital G, capital V, GOVOLS at gradeagrounds.com. Get your coffee today. Shout out to Grade A Grounds. Let's jump into the show. But first, here's Levi Ogle.
Home run, slam dunks, give him 6. Boys at MII, they got your big orange face. All year long is the place to be to hear some balls for life talking Tennessee. You can hate us if you want, but we sure ain't worried about you. We got more important issues.
All right, speaking of the more important issues, let's jump right into the most important issue of all. Sir Robert William Brooks does it again. And if you ask Boo Carter, he'd say he should have done it again with a touchdown. Boo Carter points. He says, buddy, checkerboard's right there.
Yeah, he's like, I didn't run all this way to for you to just get tackled at the very end.
Right. What a play, though, man.
I'm so glad it happened because I'm literally up there and I'm like, we know Gavin Wimsatt cannot throw. And then apparently he can throw it, make one of the greatest throws I've ever seen in my life.
That was an impressive throw and catch.
But I'm just up there. I'm like, why do we have 6 DBs or 5 DBs when all they're doing is zone read? Why are we not coming up? And then when you had to throw it on 3rd down, I'm like, all right, it's got to be something. It's got to be something short because you don't trust him to throw it. He hasn't thrown it yet. Yeah, because Tennessee's defensive line's coming, and what do you know? Will Brooks just reads his eyes.
Yeah, that
right
was
in the chest.
Man,
he's like, hey, pick me. I got it.
Watching him break on the ball. Like my eyes went to that inside receiver tight end, whoever that was out wide there in the slot. My eyes go to him because he's free. Pre-snap read, yeah, you make it. And then I saw Will Brooks out of my peripheral. And I was like, oh, yeah, That's 3-5, baby. House call.
Oh yeah.
And maybe he celebrated the Alabama win a little hard. Still getting over that one as he should, as he deserved. And he just didn't have the gas to get there.
He forgot it was Gavin Wimsatt. He thought it
yeah.
was Brock Vandegrift, and he was like, I'm in. It's no problem.
Yeah. You mentioned it. He can't throw, but he can run. And he
can
that.
run. Yes.
So, but no, it was great to see. I think should have had 2 interceptions. I'll say should have had 2. Could have had 2. That was a tough catch off of a tip drill.
Mm-hmm.
Could have had 2. Could have had a pick 6.
I mean, he's just always around the football.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah, I was about to say, I swear he had a tackle early in the game. He got credited with no tackles, but I swear he had one on in the first quarter against someone. I remember thinking, yeah, made a play, Will Brooks.
I don't know. I know he had like a pass breakup on like a 3rd down or something like that in this game. I don't remember a tackle or anything, but I mean, there's no more of like when Will Brooks does something that we cheer and go. We do cheer and go crazy, but it's not like when you cheer and go crazy that the walk-ons are in at the end of a basketball game.
Yeah, you kind of
this dude is expected to make big plays, and we're here to see it.
Right.
That's
we don't
all
go
we're paying to get in this game.
We don't go crazy. We just go verbal meme, wine aisle at the grocery store, exciting whites.
Yes.
He is an exciting white, as his teammates would confirm to you.
Yeah, hardest white boy on the block.
I love it. Obviously, great game from him. I know I'm jumping ahead a little bit to players to impress, but just staying on the defensive side of the ball, I thought that was. I think it's time, Landon, that we start preparing the trucks for a Willie Martinez apology tour. I thought Ricky Gibson played really good yesterday.
I did too. I thought having I know Barryon Brown got injured early in that game, but having a guy like Dane Key, who is a really good receiver, especially on that 4th down play, that was a huge point in that game because, I mean, if they score on that, say it works out the way, I mean, Tennessee is down 14-0.
Yep.
That's tough to come back from with, kind of what you've done offensively and in the kicking game and everything like that. So, that's huge to kind of get a play like that. And, you expect kind of Jermod McCoy, but having the guy opposite of him, Ricky Gibson, make those same kind of plays is, I mean, it's why this defense is so good. I mean, we're talking about them giving up 18 points. They probably didn't play their best game, but they gave up 18 points. And one was they had a tight end lined up as a right tackle.
Yeah.
One was a perfect throw that was good coverage and a 2-point conversion.
Yeah. Yeah, they talk about you talked about the tight end. They want to say, gimmick you with the black jerseys, which I don't know if the black jerseys can be called a gimmick when we announce it in August. Like, I think we're past the black jerseys being a gimmick.
Yeah.
But they want to talk about gimmick you, and they're out here running trickery. Be a man, play football, line up, put 5 offensive linemen down, hand in the dirt, running back in the backfield. Why do you need to run all this trickery? Is it a Super Bowl for you or something?
Got to be.
Yeah. Why don't you run a flea flicker? Triple reverse.
Can't beat them straight up.
Statue of Liberty. I mean, come on.
Throw a fullback pass like we did before.
Yeah. Be creative.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of what Kentucky does, it is becoming a tradition for Nick, whatever his last name is, to just cry, a grown man cry over losing a college football game in a stadium or outside of a stadium. That's 2 years in a row that he has been brought to tears.
Yeah, I gave him a new name. Somebody was like,
was it the section was chanting all game?
No, it was somebody was like, oh yeah, like Nick, like Rash, or I was like, oh yeah, Dick Rash. Yeah, I know exactly
Nick
who that
Rash.
is.
I don't think his name's Rash, which makes that better.
Yeah, it's definitely Roush, I think. But yeah, he is Dick Rash.
Also, for the Kentucky fans that are like Tennessee fans are classless, yeah, an 18-year-old has never called another 18-year-old a pussy. That was the first time last night. I mean, listen, I'm not up there chanting at injured players, presumed injured players. That I'm not booing them because they could be injured, but this is not new to football, to life. You all need, Kentucky fans, you need to stop watching. It's going to break you. You're going to be broken humans. You're not tough enough. We did it, Landon. Tennessee fans survived. They're not tough enough.
Yeah. I mean, they don't want us to like chant that. And they're like, oh, they're so classless, blah, blah, blah. Like the guy literally faked an injury. He was trying to come out of the game and wasn't going to make it across the field and literally went down.
Are you talking about the first one?
It
So
was
that's
like
what I
the
want to know.
DB.
Huh?
It was like it was a defensive back.
Yeah. So here's the thing, and I don't know how you implement it. If it was the first injury, I don't know how you find him for that, because he gets up from the play and he's limping. He looks injured. And he does what the smart, like, why should your team get punished for an injured player not being able to get off the field in time? Like, I think you should go down there.
Yeah, I'm not against it, but also you can hear that from the like you're going to hear it from the crowd.
Sure. No, I'm not talking about the crowd. I'm talking about the fines.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I don't understand how they're going to enforce it at all.
Like, same for the offensive player for Kentucky.
Just make them sit out a whole series like that.
That's what you do. Like, because it becomes a player safety thing. Now you're telling injured players not to go down, or your coach could get suspended.
Mm-hmm.
So the same for the tight end. He gets flipped, gets up limping. You want him to waste game clock and play clock limping off the field rather than being injured? Because we saw that with Squirrel White on that Florida catch. When we're trying to drive down in a hurry, he has to go down there. Like, that's dumb to waste play clock and game clock, or play clock and game clock trying to get off the field when he's injured. You go down. That's just like, that's smart in basketball. If you're injured live in a play, you don't play through it. That's dumb. So I don't know how you start throwing out fines. Like, it's just, I think that may have been I don't think they'll find anybody. I think that'll be we tried to do something about it, but then they'll go, well, he kind of did look injured. So how do you, like you said, you got to address the rule fully. You have to address the rule fully.
Yeah, Joey said it was just weird because he went down, got up, hopping on one foot, went off the field slow, holding his wrist, and came out of the tent sprinting down the sidelines, hopping everybody up. Like that's crazy.
That was the one where the guy goes down, and I thought, if you're down right after a play, I'm going to assume you're injured, or you're just smart, rather than dropping like a fly. But then you get up. Why do you get up? Just stay down.
Yeah, there needs to be a lot better acting classes going on. Like, I mean, it's bad. If you're doing stuff like Joey just mentioned, that's bad. That you should get a fine. If you're that dumb, you should get a fine for that.
But I mean, Monty's right. Nothing looked obviously fake. The one DB I'm talking about that went down early, it was an early drive in the first quarter, and I think it was Kristen Story that went down. He drops down while Tennessee's getting a play in, but like I said, he got up limping. But according to Greg Sankey's rule, that should be a fine, according to how Greg Sankey did it.
Well, did you see what? I mean, I don't know did you see how he like went down?
Kristen Story?
Yeah.
Oh,
this is the same one.
He dropped. He dropped while the play was going in, but I think he was trying to sub out because he was injured. He gets up limping.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so he was like motioning, and then he just went down. Yeah,
he gets up limping, and I think he's trying to get a sub on for injury.
I think we just need to test out. I mean, is this guy even athletic? Can you not limp off the field?
But
if it's only one leg, you should be able to limp off the field.
But that's dumb because Tennessee is going to snap it before you can get off the field.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So I'm saying that you should go down. That's the smart thing to do.
Yeah, I agree.
But I'm saying you should
but-
just stay down when you're injured for sure.
Yeah, probably not get like right up as soon as the people get over there to you.
But if they get, let's say they get fined for that one, what that does is that encourages injured players to play through injuries. That is against what the SEC should be for. Like for protect, we're here to protect players, Landon. Come on, we know that. That's why targeting was implemented. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So yeah, the solution is you sit out the whole drop. You don't fining does nothing. Suspending
Right.
coaches does nothing. At the end of the day, because we'll
Well, I
see
mean, yeah,
Monday. Because he
well,
said
what
he said
does the
these come with
player have
public.
to lose?
He said these come with public reprimands. So we'll find out Monday if he's actually going to do anything about it. Because you can't tell me there were 0 this week.
Yeah. Yeah, Ole Miss played this week. There's definitely
Yeah.
some.
Well, and I mean, which by the way, Lane Kiffin's a petulant child. If you're a fan of Lane Kiffin, you were what the Tennessee people were chanting this week. He's a petulant child. He can't say he wasn't throwing that football at the official.
No.
And that was all about a timeout that he was in no position to call.
Yeah. I don't know. He just like started jogging toward the end zone and call a timeout. Like he didn't even want to call a timeout.
He don't want to play in loud stadiums.
He was
he wants the ref to
faking
be
a
able to hear him.
timeout. Let's get a fine for that.
I'm not going to answer that, Ronnie.
Gun your head if the receiver catches the ball, you live. From Nimrod or Matthews.
Yeah, I said Nimrod made a good catch earlier. We'll leave it at that. We'll see. We'll see on Monday. I'm interested to see. I don't like the fines because I don't think it fully addresses the issue. I think the fine should be in place when you have a coach similar to the Alabama issue telling them to drop down. You see, I mean, Connor Stallions was able to figure out signals from cameras. Surely we can see coaches telling him to drop down.
Mm-hmm.
Don't overthink it. He overthought it. Greg Sankey overthought it.
I will say this to Ronnie's point, and I'm not going to go into like who I'd rather catch a pass for my life, but I will say I don't understand really like what the receiver rotation is.
No.
Because it's like, I mean, Squirrel's not returning. He's too injured to return kicks, but you put him out there to block.
I don't necessarily think
makes
it's
no
too
sense.
injured to return kicks. I think we have other returners. So why risk injury?
When it's, I mean,
Right?
we're not really throwing the ball to him, so I just don't understand. Like he's not a threat passing wise. So we just put him out there.
We threw
just
to him. We
play him.
targeted him 3 or 4 times last night. He had 2 catches.
I saw him make one. I don't remember the other one.
He had 2 catches.
But like we're not targeting him down. Like
No.
my big thing is with the slot is like that's where most of your big, like that's where you open up the field.
Yeah.
And
Well, that's
right
how
now-
you really stretch the safeties away from the outside and you open it up on the outside.
And right now you're just not.
Right.
From drops or whatever. Like it's just not working out. And something that was your biggest strength in 2022 is probably your biggest weakness right now in
Sure.
the slot position. You're just not getting much production from the slot. And maybe there's
But that was also the case before Squirrel was injured. So I think it's a lot about there's just no one that's taking control of that position.
Yeah. Yeah, they need to find somebody. I mean, we heard nothing but good things, and I don't know about like practice and who knows the offense and who doesn't, but I mean a guy like Chris Brazzell can go in the slot, catch a touchdown at Alabama, but we don't even like try to like see if that would work and maybe have Mike Matthews play the outside if Mike Matthews can't play the slot, or we heard nothing but good things from Braylon Staley in the offseason playing the slot. So I don't know. It's a weird thing that we're just struggling to get any production out of, and it doesn't seem like we're doing anything to fix it.
Agreed. Yeah, it's frustrating. It's, like you said, that slot's an important part of this. This offense. I do like that we got the tight ends involved more though.
Yeah.
This week. I mean, Miles Kitzman was your leading receiver. And then that's another pass that Nico made on the run back across his body. That was excellent. Was that touchdown pass to Miles Kitselman?
And I know Nico probably gets player of the game. I think Miles Kitselman is player of the game.
Okay.
I think
I'm okay with that. Well,
probably Tennessee's best player. You watch, I think it was a swing pass to Dylan Sampson, and he just flat out runs through a corner, flattens him. I mean, the dude, like, he did great in the passing game, but also in the run game and stuff like that. He's just a huge part in this offense. Like
well, there was one Mike Matthews ran. He pancaked a corner.
Yeah.
On a swing pass. I don't know who it was to. But
you'd think that earned him some more playing time. I don't know. More targets.
Yeah, I mean, I do feel like they're chipping away at getting him in. And Monty mentioned trying to save his red shirt. I would think Mike Matthews' red shirt's burned by now. I don't know how many games he's registered in, but I would think by now he's has.
Yeah, I don't think they're worried about red
He's
shirt.
definitely played in 4 already. So, for sure.
Being a 5-star receiver, you have no plans to play more than 4 years.
4 years, yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, Landon, no free cookies. Both Landons. I'm talking to you, and then answering Landon Allen's question here, or comment, I should say.
Pretty disappointing.
Yeah, man, I'd really like some moonshine cookies, but it is what it is.
Yeah,
I don't know why we don't target Brood down in the red zone more. He's a big receiver that makes contested catches well. I get you have Chris Brazzell, who is a red zone threat, but he's also really not been much of that for you this year. So why do we not throw to the guy that we know will do it? That's done it in orange.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't understand.
I just think Moonshine Cookies is probably behind this somehow.
They're paying off Heupel.
Yeah, they're paying off from Jalen Hyatt from 2 years ago still.
Yeah, they got a backdoor deal with Joey Halsley. They're like, hey, I mean, I know he could still score, but like inside the 30, let's not get the ball to him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
We'll give you like $50,000.
Yeah.
And he's got to make NIL money too. I mean, come on. Got to get on the action.
Got to.
Another guy that was good to see. Also, I'm going to push back a little bit. I still have Nico as my player of the game.
Okay, that's fine. I don't
the
think
one that I mean, that play, the entirety of the play, the pass to Dante Thornton really kind of felt like this game's ours for sure. And Ronnie said really did feel like we were in control. It didn't feel like Tennessee was out of control in the game ever, but there was a point really at halftime where I was thinking Tennessee hasn't proven they can win this game yet. To me, obviously it's still within reach. It's not out of hand by any means. It was just like, are they going to be able to? Because I mean, you had plenty of times to score in the first half, and you could. But yeah, that one really felt like that led to. Did that lead to Dylan Sampson's record-breaking touchdown? I think the pass to Thornton. I think it did. That one felt good, but I did want to mention Peyton Lewis. Good to see him get some run. He's everything you kind of thought. Who wore 27? That was a big back a few years ago.
Crouch.
Maybe no. Who played linebacker switch? Was that Crouch played or was going to play linebacker, switched over running back? You're like, oh, we got a big bowling ball back.
Well, he played linebacker, but he also did like the short yardage back.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that man's not afraid of contact, Peyton Lewis.
Mm-hmm.
Good to see. Good to see him get some run and a touchdown. And someone tweeted a picture of Dylan Sampson on the sideline during that drive, and I didn't disagree. I wanted to see Dylan Sampson in the game, but I then took a picture of Peyton Lewis standing in the end zone. I thought it was a good response because Peyton Lewis ran the ball really well in that drive.
Yeah, also like that's big. I think kind of like Mike Matthews, like you make a play like here and there when you get the opportunity, they have confidence in you and they'll throw you back out there. And that's what happened with Peyton Lewis when Deshaun Bishop went down. They're like, hey, we got to give somebody else a shot. And he took it and ran with it, literally. So, yeah, I thought that was good to see. And Yeah, just kind of like adds a little bit more depth to that running back room. I don't know what Deshaun Bishop's injury is. It looked like a leg of some sort, but didn't really like have to have a whole lot of help walking off the field. So I'm not sure what it was, but hopefully you can get him back. But I think you got a good option in Peyton Lewis behind Dylan Sampson as well.
Yeah.
And also 19 touchdowns in 8 games is crazy.
Oh, it's absolutely wild. I mean, the record's been there since what, 1929?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Do you know he's 3 rushing touchdowns away from being the all-time touchdown leader?
Yeah.
He's second right now, tied with Dobbs. He's been here for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Insane. Yeah, James Littleman Stewart has 35. Dylan Sampson has 32.
Yeah, he's a dog.
I think he's also 20th on Tennessee's all-time rushing list. And I think he could probably easily get in. What do you say? He gets 500, at least 500 more yards. That'll put him top 10 all time.
Yeah, I think he probably gets close to that. And I hope this season earns him an invite to New York. I'm not saying, obviously, as a Tennessee fan, I'm like, yeah, Dylan Sampson for Heisman. First off, there's just really good running backs in front of him right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, obviously Ashton Jeanty having the season he's having. You have Caleb Johnson at Iowa. Like, there's really, really good running backs. That, like, there really should probably be 3 like it's gonna feel like 2011. There should probably be 3 running backs in New York this year.
Yeah.
And Dylan Sampson's one of them.
How many do they invite to New York? Is it 4?
It depends on the voting, I think. I think if you're within so many votes, I think I've seen as many as 5.
Okay.
Because I think if you're within so many points of first place, you get invited.
Gotcha.
Like they get down to like finalists, and those finalists are within so many of first place, I think.
So it's going to be Travis Hunter, Jeanty, Cam Ward, maybe another running back.
I think if the only way that Sampson would get invited is if Caleb Johnson was also invited and he was the 3rd running back. I think with his yards and touchdowns, because he's got like 15 touchdowns, 16 touchdowns, and like, is it 1,200 yards, 1,300 yards already?
Oh, really?
Jeanty has like 1,500, I think. I'll have to look it up now. Yeah. There's some impressive running backs. And then I think Army's running back, which of course Army's running back. No, UCS running back has 1,200 as well.
Oh, I was going to say Army's quarterback is like.
Maybe that's what it is then. He's up there.
Just having an insane year too, yeah.
Sorry, Caleb Johnson has 19 touchdowns on the year and 1,200 yards. RJ Harvey at UCF has 1,216. Yeah, this is a good group of backs right now. You can't find an incredible quarterback in the country, but there's running backs for sure.
Yeah. What another person that I think really impresses me, and he's had a phenomenal year, Joshua Josephs.
Yeah, it's been good to kind of have him back.
He's everywhere, and he's so fast. I mean, he's usually like, if there is like a longer like kind of chunk play, he's usually the first defensive lineman like getting to the football, just flying around. And he's played out of his mind so far this year, and I know he's benefited a lot from James Pierce, which I have a play that I'm going to tweet out tomorrow. James Pierce, the amount of time he gets tackled on a play is crazy.
I think he was the one that got held on Omar Norman Lott's double hand stiff arm on.
Yeah, he was. That's the play.
Which Brock Vandergrift's, I think he gets that flag if he doesn't flop so hard. I think the ref saw him jump in the air and was like,
yeah,
maybe you didn't get pushed. Which also, that's crazy that didn't get flagged.
Oh, yeah, I thought it was a for sure flag.
That is old.
Mike Eckler thought he
you
would.
even
He
saw
grabbed,
Mike Eckler jump
he,
up.
he
Yeah.
grabbed Omar Norman Law.
I
and was
feel like
"What
as
are
a
you
ref,
doing?"
if you see that coach jump up like that, you're like, yeah, it's got to be a penalty.
Yeah. Was that Omar Norman Law the same one like arguing about a face mask as he was ripping the face mask off?
To be fair, I don't think that face mask gets called because it happened so late and the flag came in so late. I don't think it gets called if he doesn't stand up with his helmet in his hand. Like, what is he doing? What is he doing? Because
It's like, what
So-
are you talking about?
yeah, so he stands up with the helmet in his hand, and then the flag gets thrown, and then they show the replay, and at the start of the play, he does not grab his face mask, and the replay they showed on the jumbotron, I'm like, I still can't tell when he grabbed it, how he grabbed it. I didn't know it was a face mask until I got home and watched the replay, and I was able to see. It's like at the very end of the play, he starts like pulling up and catches it, or no, sorry, he catches it coming down. His hand's coming down, catches the bottom of the face mask, and then just continues ripping it off until he stands up with it in his hand. Yeah, he's like it's like the officers are standing over a dead body. And it's like this guy was murdered with a 9mm, and Omar Norman Law's just standing there holding that gun, and he's like, I could not have possibly done this, officer.
Yeah.
We know the exact kitchen knife used in this murder. Well, was it this one? Because I didn't do it. Crazy town. Yeah, that officiating crew just did not know how to manage a game.
19 penalties.
Which I did misunderstand because I, again, cannot hear the referee from my seats. At the end of the half, I thought the head official tried to call a delay a game because he was resetting the play clock. That's what that motion means. And then stands over the ball, and I thought he was going to walk it off 5 yards. I was like, "Wait, there were 2 seconds left. You can't possibly think we had a delay." And like, he's confused with his back judge trying to tell him, "Hey, game or half's over." I'm like, how is this a confusing thing that occurred? I think it just shows their lack of management. Like that was a perfect encapsulation of their lack of management.
Well, the clock management on that was horrible too.
It was bad. I think
you can't blow a time. You got to make sure you have a timeout at the end of the half. That's
I don't like Josh Heupel's
you
timeouts,
just-
but I don't remember
yeah,
how
you
they all.
wasted
I don't
one.
remember how they all three occurred. I'd have to go back and look at how all three occurred.
I remember one just absolutely like it was
Yeah.
after a break. I'm pretty sure we used
Probably.
one.
I mean, the referee, the umpire standing over Cooper as the clock starts rolling is unacceptable. Because the only reason you had the opportunity to stand over Cooper is because you all can't stop the clock when the player goes down on a first down. Like you're like the on-field clock management by the officials is wrong. But they still had time to snap the ball and they didn't get it off. Like that's on Nico and Cooper.
Yep.
Yeah, it wasn't good. Yeah. Called defensive timeout, first play after the first half. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Wait, first play after the half, we got the ball. So it would have been their first offensive drive of the half. But yeah.
Yeah. I enjoyed last night. I do think I don't think Tennessee has played their best football game. I think that was definitely Nico's best game, but I mean, you got to finish on a lot of those drives.
Yeah.
You
Nico
can't fumble in your own
football.
territory. Yeah. You got to stop.
We
doing
fumbled
that.
in Kentucky's territory.
No, yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
In Kentucky's territory. You got to stop doing that. It's just killing drives. You got to figure out your kicker situation. He's 1 for 6 in his last 6 kicks like that.
Yeah.
Just something has to click, or you got to try somebody else. And then the penalties, man, like they are so like the amount of times that we just line up off sides is crazy.
Yeah. Well, James Pierce got penalized again for firing off. He thinks he timed it well. I don't know. That didn't look like it to me, but he was pretty convinced.
There was one with Amari Thomas too that was, I think, a blatant offsides, and they called it on Kentucky. Yeah, bad day for that officiating crew. They were not good at all. But I think Tennessee just kind of played bully ball at the end of that game, especially that push at the end to get that record. Like that's fun football to watch.
Yeah.
It was
Absolutely.
like 11:30, but it was fun to watch at 11:30.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, well, don't encourage them, Landon. I would have rather watched it at 8.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna have another. It's gonna be the same thing next week, and then they might change UTEP and just have it a night game too. Who knows?
Oh my gosh, James Franklin will lose his mind.
Nothing better than Happy Valley at noon.
Which is weird to say that. There's nothing better than Happy Valley at noon. Then wouldn't you want more noon games? Or was he complaining about it, or was it just God, was it who was it that was saying they weren't getting enough night games this week? Was it Kiffin?
Or was it Hugh Freeze?
Hugh, you're not going to win any time of the day, so just give that up. Speaking of that, congratulations to Diego Pavia, who has been voted and confirmed a week before or a few days before Election Day. He is officially the governor and father of the state of Alabama. Congratulations.
Yeah, that's crazy. He's also what? Is he 2-0 against Hugh Freeze?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they beat
they beat Auburn last year.
New Mexico last year.
Ooh, he might be 3-0. Because he might have beat him while he was at Liberty.
Is that real?
I'd have to check that, but he's at least 2-0 against Hugh Freeze.
That's awesome.
Joey, if you want to check that, that would be cool.
I'll see if I can find it as we roll to whatever's next.
Yeah, good win. Got some help last night or yesterday in the college football playoff race, I guess. I don't know. You took care of business. Like that is the main thing with this game. I don't think you played your best game. Offense took another step. I think defense didn't play their best game, but I don't think you're going to have them hold teams to 10 points every single game. But holding them under 20, you should be able to win those games every single time.
Right.
With the talent that you have on offense. With one of the best running backs in the country, with, the veterans at receiver, your tight ends are playing well, your offensive line's playing better, your quarterback seems more comfortable. It's kind of slowed down for him a little bit. Like, things should be heading in the right direction. So I think Tennessee is close. They just got to do a better job of finishing. I think they're in the red zone, 7 times and scored 4 touchdowns. Like, that needs to be better. You need to come away with points and more drives than that. So
Diego Pavia is 3-0 versus Hugh Freeze. They beat Liberty 49-14.
Oh my God.
2 years ago. He
is going to have to send Hugh Freeze
he threw for 3 touchdowns on 214 yards passing, rushed for 3 for 125 yards against them in 2022. He might need to give Hugh Freeze some of his rookie contract money.
Yeah.
He owes him.
Saying, like, parents are supposed to get your kids Christmas presents. I mean,
well, we talk about like what coaches owe what players money of their buyout contract. I think Diego's owes Hugh Freeze some money for Hugh Freeze just getting whooped by him every year.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh man. Love it. Love it.
I love Kentucky fans having a full on meltdown on Twitter. Like, it is fun to see. Like, Levi Ogle, one of the lyrics in that is, hate us if you want to, we don't care. We don't. We have more important issues to worry about, and that's college football playoffs. So that's what we're going to do. You were just an obstacle in that road. We got past you. See you next year for another loss.
My favorite thing now is that Kentucky fans have resorted to. We don't even care that we lost, which is crazy. This is a
That's
football
coping.
game.
Coping
That's
at
it.
its finest.
They're like, we're restless Tennessee fan base. That's what they're more worried about. They are worried about the more important issues.
Yeah, I saw a thing today, and they're like, yeah, I mean, at some point, Tennessee fans need to realize that every fan base thinks they're the worst fan base. I'm like, who cares? I do not give a single shit on what an opposing fan base thinks about me.
There's
one.
also it does suck for people to think that when you're bad. So Kentucky people think you suck, by the way, just a heads up.
Yeah.
And you're bad. You're not. The only reason you're relevant in basketball right now is because of your previous relevance, and people laugh at you. And they think you're annoying because there's not a single good team out there that people are like, their fans are awesome. Not a single one.
No. Also, who do they have left? Texas, Louisville, Murray State.
One and
You gotta win all three of those.
1 and 2
to go bowling.
Well,
Just so you know, you're paying your.
the only bowling they'll be doing is at Western Avenue, Strike and Spare, which also sick bowling alley. I love that bowling alley. Great matzo sticks.
And they got cosmic bowling if you're into that.
Oh yeah, I am into that.
I was gonna say something about Kentucky. I can't remember what I was. It is gonna be funny. Oh, I was gonna say this. Their coach is getting paid more than Josh Heupel is
Really?
to not go bowling. Yeah,
I didn't realize that. Good for him.
sorry.
Good for him.
I think he might get paid the same as Josh Heupel.
Okay. He's really earned that. Those khaki pants.
Yeah, they both make $9 million a year.
Love that.
But Josh ends up making more because he also hits some bonuses in there too. So you got to count for that.
Right. Of course. Of course. All right. Anything else on that Tennessee game?
I don't think so. I don't know why teams are still throwing at Will Brooks. I don't understand it.
Yeah. Find him. Go away from him.
Yeah. Two guys I would never think would have more than three plus picks this season. Jalen McCullough for the Rams was definitely one, and Will Brooks at Tennessee. And Jalen McCullough got his fourth today, and Will Brooks should have got his fourth last night, but he got 3 instead. So.
You love to see it.
Love to see it. Let's get into some college football real quick. Before we do that, guys, go check out roback.com. Use promo code More Important Issues for 20% off your first purchase. They have the best quality clothing you can buy. Go buy today. Christmas is coming up. Perfect time for gifts. Gifts for yourself. Gifts for your loved one. They also have women's wear. But they got polos, joggers, hoodies, pants, shorts, whatever you want, they got it. So go check them out at roback.com. Use promo code More Important Issues for 20% off your first purchase.
Do it.
Do it.
This week in college football. Man.
football.
At least we got to watch some good games before rolling into the stadium.
That is the one positive about a night game. Is we do kind of get a whole day of college football.
Right. But we also didn't think we were going to. But also, you would have liked to be home for that South Carolina A&M game.
That's true.
But you also run the risk of it being a bad weekend and you're looking around like we had to watch all those games. But you had, Ohio State, Penn State came down to the wire. Georgia, Florida was good for 3.5 quarters. Duke, Miami was good for 2.5 quarters.
Florida was up on Georgia at halftime.
I didn't know I would really love watching that Louisville Clemson game, but I probably would have loved it.
Yeah.
So I would like to be home for that.
Yeah,
You gotta
actually,
see-
Dabo Sweeney owes me some money. That was the one leg in the parlay I missed. So thanks a lot.
I did get to watch our one loss get worse and worse as Ole Miss just trounces them on the road. Kurt Signetti, I'll bring 6 next week to the tailgate. I forgot this week.
Dude, good God. I'm starting to hate this guy.
He beat him 47-10, Landon. What do you want the man to do?
I know, but I want him to lose is what I want him to do, but the man doesn't lose.
He doesn't. He does not lose. We also didn't get to see.
I'm not right a lot of the time, but I would like to be right at least 1 week about Indiana.
Right.
I'm just going to keep saying they're deserving. They should be in the college football playoff, no doubt about it. They're the best team in the Big Ten. I'll say it.
Don't try this. That's sad, Landon. That's just don't do that.
Oh,
Not to my
come
boy.
on.
Don't do it to Kurt. Don't you dare.
Yeah, let's look at some other games. You had Oregon, Michigan. Oregon just kind of rolls. Big game for Michigan and Indiana next week in the Big House. We'll see kind of how that works out. I just think Indiana's probably going to roll if we're going based off what we've seen so far this year. The Ohio State-Penn State game is where 2 really good defenses, 2, I think, quarterbacks that get way too much hype than what they actually are. Will Howard did kind of close out that game, but he also was a reason why Penn State scored their only touchdown. So I don't have a lot of faith in him. They have good backs, good receivers. So, I mentioned that good defense. I thought they would win. Also, James Franklin continues to not win a single game that means anything. I think he's 1-9, 1-10, I think, against Ohio State. It's bad. It's bad. Miami continues to roll. Cam Ward had 400 yards passing, 5 touchdowns. We mentioned Tennessee, Kentucky. That is one thing I do want to point out. Nico had 292 yards. I mean, he's up over 400 if some of those receivers make that catch. And I think we're thinking about this team a lot differently. And I think the national media is talking about Tennessee a lot differently if you connect, which we said that last week too. So whatever. There's something about South Carolina at night. If it's a South Carolina at night game, you want no part in that. South Carolina is good at night. 44-20 over Texas A&M. Texas A&M. That was one I was finally right on one where they hype up a team all week and they end up laying an egg, and that's exactly what Texas A&M did. Didn't score a single point in the second half. Lenora Sellers was good. Rocket Sanders was good. That was just kind of fun to keep up with. Didn't really get to watch it a whole lot. What did Marcel Reed do? Or did they go to Wigman? Oh, they went to Marcel Reed. Let's see. He ran it 16 times, threw it 28 times. Looks like he didn't play bad. It was just like their defense got destroyed by South Carolina. Yikes. Oh. Well, they only fumbled once. They had 2 turnovers. I don't know. That's just a bad loss by A&M. And they still kind of control their own destiny. They have to play Texas at the end of the year. So we'll kind of see what kind of impact that has on the college football playoff. But I thought that was just a bad showing after what they did to LSU a week ago. Some more games here real quick. Iowa State goes down. First loss of the season to Texas Tech. And they scored with like 20 seconds left. Texas Tech did to take the lead and get the win. It's just With that conference, I think that one loss could probably. I mean, they still can win the conference, but unless they do, they're out. They are out. Louisville, Clemson. I know Caleb's going to want to talk about this in a second. I'll wait till kind of he gets back. But what is Clemson doing? I mean, just a clear path to the college football playoff, and they just like, no, we're going to lose to Louisville at home. And our quarterback, who's not really great, is going to throw the ball 56 times. I mean, their defense couldn't stop anything. I think they, well, I don't know. It was just a weird game in there. They didn't run for a ton of yards. They didn't throw for a ton of yards. They just beat them. Just scored when it mattered. Interesting. Not good. Kate Klubnik's another quarterback that I just don't understand the hype at all. Like, what has he won?
What is who won? Sorry.
Kate Klubnik.
Oh, yeah.
I was talking about a lot of quarterbacks. Like, I mean, Drew Aller, like that guy is, I mean, he's James Franklin. Like, he hasn't won a single game worth anything.
Sure.
I did talk about Texas A&M for a second also before this.
People are starting to believe us about that environment in Columbia.
Dude, there's something about it.
Do not, whether it's for football or whatever it's for, do not go to Columbia, South Carolina in November ever. It is
for a night game.
treacherous. No matter what, just don't go.
Okay. That's fair.
Don't even risk it. Place is dangerous.
Kansas State gets their second loss, so they are officially out unless they somehow win the Big 12. Losing to a bad Houston team, 24-19.
Yeah, tough look.
Yep. Pittsburgh losing their first game of the year to SMU
in a gross manner.
Yeah, I think SMU's like really good. Who's their one? Their one loss is to somebody I thought that was. It's a BYU, 18-15. So I'm wondering who ends up in the Big 12 championship. It looks like it's going to be Utah and SMU. Does Iowa State and SMU play? No,
I don't know. Big 12 right now, it's BYU and Iowa State are the top two teams. Colorado's there at 4-1 in the conference. Kansas State's 4-2 after that.
What about SMU?
Oh,
they're in the ACC.
They are in the ACC.
Oh God, the conference realignment has me all confused.
Yeah.
I just assumed
They're
BYU
second.
was a conference game.
SMU's second in the ACC behind Miami right now.
Yeah, because they don't have a single loss in the conference.
Yep.
Okay. Sorry, Clemson.
I think the Clemson loss might have been on purpose to try to sneak in to ACC teams. I'm just kidding. They dropped them back to 19, but
I feel like you could have gotten if Clemson would have won out and Miami just lost the conference championship. I think you probably would have got 2 in.
Say it again. I'm sorry.
If Clemson would have won the conference championship, and Miami would have just lost that game,
yeah,
I think they would have got 2 in.
You need SMU to beat Miami now in the conference title.
Well, no, now you just need Miami to keep. They just need to win out, so they only get 1.
I'm saying they get 2 in if SMU beats Miami.
Oh yeah,
in the title. Yeah,
but we don't want that to happen.
I would say they could. I mean, I think they dropped Clemson far enough. AP did. We'll see what the playoff thinks Tuesday, but we know they love Clemson like Oh, that's Clemson's second loss. I forgot about
Yeah,
that. They lost to Georgia. Never mind.
Yep.
We're good. We're fine. I knew they dropped them. I was like, dang. I knew they were waiting to drop Pitt. They were waiting to drop Pitt.
Mm-hmm.
They loved that one. They're like, oh yeah. Like, we'll get them out.
SMU's kind of the same
week.
way. They just like don't. They don't really play any.
No.
Lost to BYU. They did beat Louisville and beat Pitt, but yeah. You got to get that schedule up a little bit for you. I mean, I guess you just got to win out, so you kind of control your own destiny. But
Sure. I'm excited to see the first playoff ranking. I'm curious to see how it all I think it'll be. I think the top 8 will be pretty similar standings to the AP. I think after that, you're going to see how much the AP clings onto their how much they believe in their own preseason rankings.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be pretty different after 8.
Ole Miss just takes it to Arkansas.
Ugh.
Jackson Dart, 515 yards, 6 touchdowns. Is that necessary? I mean, you won by 32 and you threw 515 yards. I mean, that was a statement game.
They got to have them now. They're 7-2. They need statement games. They need style points.
Style points, yeah. Army Air Force, probably one of the most boring games of all time. 20-3.
Hey, don't hate America.
You were thinking it.
You just can't talk. Sure, but you can't say it out loud.
Yeah,
not during election season, Landon.
Yeah,
we're trying to get elected.
I got you.
And you're out here just bashing our troops, both of them.
I did think that game was kind of a trap game. You never know with the Service Academy.
Air Force is terrible. I knew.
Yeah, they can't score.
What happened in the Nebraska game? I saw everyone saying that Nebraska just gave it away, but I didn't.
Oh, I don't know. I know Minnesota did beat Illinois, and that was a tough scene.
The craziest news of the day is Florida State finishes 1-7 in ACC play. And it's also crazy to have 3 games left and no conference games. Because it's Notre Dame, Charleston Southern, and Florida are left on their schedule. And Notre Dame doesn't count towards the ACC schedule or ACC standings.
1-7. What was their preseason ranking?
Were they number 10?
10, something like that.
I think so.
That's
cool. Are they the new Notre Dame? Have they upseeded Notre Dame?
Honestly, like, if they want any kind of recognition, how about they do the impossible and beat Notre Dame?
That'd be hilarious. I do need to issue a public apology. I was wrong. I said A&M was better than Notre Dame currently. A&M was fraudulent, and I bought too much into a fourth quarter, and I'm sorry, and I was wrong.
Yeah.
I still don't think Notre Dame's good, but A&M is worse. Mr. Resume, that's how you admit you're wrong, by the way. That was an example of how you admit you're wrong.
So is Georgia Ole Miss a trap game next week?
You think Georgia could pick up a second loss? I mean, it's going to be a boat race. So
it's in Oxford.
Can Georgia find that second half Alabama magic?
Georgia's 2.5 points.
Ooh. Do we get on it now, or do we wait to see if it moves anymore? It's only going to move towards Ole Miss. No, I think you have to take Ole Miss if you take it.
Oh, really?
I think, right? If you take it.
See, like, okay, here's my line of thinking about it.
Okay.
Who do I think is the better team? Just straight up.
Georgia.
Exactly. So I think I ride with Georgia in betting wise. Yeah, just go money line.
Okay.
But
I also think they're going to struggle to outscore Ole Miss.
That's true, but we also seen Ole Miss lose to Kentucky. So, sure, I mean, we have no clue. We have zero clue. But
we have
Georgia
zero clue.
should have lost to Kentucky.
Right. And the Kentucky Georgia game in the grand scheme of things currently doesn't make sense.
Right. Yeah, I have no clue what to think about that game. Other than the lowest ticket is $240.
I think if I had to, I think if I bet on that game, I'd have to take Ole Miss money line or Ole Miss points, one or the other. I don't know. I'd take a money line if I take it. Do you have those odds pulled up? Money line odds?
I don't have that. No.
Okay. I might go ahead and touch it.
Just dip in it.
Yeah, just to feel something next Saturday. You know, what time's that game?
That game is at 3:30.
We'll be able to watch the whole thing pretty much.
Yep.
Because it could be what, a 7:45 kick.
Ours-
It's so late.
No, ours is 7. They did announce it was going to be 7.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I thought. Well, so
There was that. It was the or, but they did announce it was 7.
This Saturday was supposed to be a 7:45 kick. It was almost 8:00 by the time they kicked off.
I know. I don't understand why it takes so long. Let's get this show on the road.
Yeah.
Like the Ohio State Penn State, they didn't kick off till almost 12:30. I'm like, James Franklin's having a heart attack over here. Best place in the country.
If they had
is
started
Happy
at
Valley
noon, they had started at noon. It would have been a different ball game.
Dude, I hope he says that in the press conference. That would be awesome.
Did you see him almost get into it with a fan?
Yeah, he's like, "What's your name?"
Which I do kind of. I think James Franklin's not as much of a man as he thinks he is, but I do like that move. Like, no, if you're gonna talk trash, at least tell me your name.
Yeah.
I also like that he looks like an Irish guy from Boston that thinks he's in it. Like he's the errand boy for the Whitey Bulger gang in that tracksuit and hat.
Yeah.
And he just shows up to talk trash to James Franklin.
Yeah, he's the guy like a mobster sends out to just like be like, hey, if you don't do this, like somebody will kill you. It's not gonna be me, but somebody will. Miami, Georgia Tech, -11 next week.
Miami.
Kind of with that too.
I really thought Duke would cover. That was upsetting. I'm done. I'm done betting against Cam Ward.
Are you gonna bet against South Carolina or Vanderbilt next week?
Oh, it's South Carolina Vandy next week?
Yeah, in Nashville. Hostile environment.
What time?
4:15.
Not late enough for Shane Beamer. He's still waking up.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what to think about that game after that South Carolina. I mean, South Carolina is so hot and cold anyways. Yeah, I have no idea. I would like my instinct tells me take South Carolina, but I could also see Vanderbilt winning that one.
I mean, what about
and every time South Carolina loses, Shane Beamer has an epic meltdown. So I am rooting. Again, will not chant Vandy over and over again, but I am rooting for Vanderbilt to win that just to see the type of meltdown Shane Beamer would have. Because it would probably be the polar opposite of his celebration this week, which was big. And so it would be epic.
Did you see his celebration about like his wife and stuff in the
I'm going to be honest,
room?
that locker, I hate it, but that locker room looked fun. Like, I hate to say that.
Yeah, I'm just like, that's kind of a weird thing to do, though. Just bring your wife in there and sing her a song.
It was her birthday.
I know, but
you would sing Ray Charles' Happy Birthday song.
Correct, but my wife would definitely not go in the locker
room. They weren't naked. They weren't showering.
Well, I just love it's not really that. It's just like it's cool that you do that, but it's like Shane Beamer has to like.
Shane Beamer's just lame, so it's inherently lame that he did.
Yes, and it's just like all about him. Like, let everybody sing it, not just you being a freaking moron in the middle.
I thought it was cool because everyone did sing it. Like, the whole place went nuts. It's obviously something they do as a team. He said something about you all sing this on the practice field. That's why I thought it was cool.
It was too much of him. He's too much on the screen for me.
I'm with you.
I like my coach that does a little bit of this, just little hands up and down, and he doesn't have to have a whole like the greatest showman performance.
You don't want him wearing that that chain that was clearly bought off that street vendor.
Oh
like
yeah,
did.
Yeah. Or the shirt that says "Bitch, I'm a ball."
Yeah,
dude, I want to know like how many people buy that shirt. I've never seen
too
somebody
many.
buy it.
Oh, I've seen people wear it.
Really?
Somebody.
I've never seen anybody buy it.
Brother, go to one free. You know that one at Food City they have every week.
Mm-hmm.
That Friday they have them at different food cities. I bet there's 10 of those at every time.
Jesus.
Yeah, I mean Shane Bieber's lame, but I did. That looked fun. Looked like a good time.
I want to know, like, I understand, like, the shrubs were there. How are they, like, just completely gone? Like, how is there nothing? Are people eating the shrubs?
I think it's a combination of thousands of people having to run through them. There's nothing you can do except run through them.
Yeah.
And then I think similar to the grass merchants at Neyland, I think people are just taking parts of the shrubs.
Yanking them out.
Because I've seen, I remember last time when we lost there was someone carrying pretty much an entire shrub. I mean, it looked like they had dug it out of the ground.
Yeah, I don't know. That I was like, I mean, it looks like people don't even try to avoid it. I would try to like, because there's like kind of a fence there to like get over it. Like, can you not jump over that past the shrub, or is it too much shrub?
I think for majority of people, it's too much shrub. You may be able to, but I would say for the majority, it's too much shrub.
Thank you for considering
I think you're more athletic than
slightly
most of the population. I mean, I do want you to prove it.
I have a little bit left in the tank.
I do want you to prove it with an Oklahoma drill at the tailgate, like you keep talking about.
Yeah, I mean, whoever
listen, some people are starting to murmur, Landon. They're starting to say you don't have the balls to do it.
Whoever ends up doing it with me, though, it's going to be a bad day for them. I'll say that.
All right, someone take him up. It's going to be that one guy that was just trying to fight people this week.
Yeah, I mean, that no one wants that smoke. I promise you. Speaking of that, I mean, go ahead and tell the story about the tailgate.
Just at the end, walking up to it.
Yeah, well, I guess I walked up to it first, so I'll kind of lead it off. Okay, so walk up and like the group beside of us. This is after the game, by the way. The group beside of us is like all standing out their cars, and they're like, "Hey, your cars get hit?" I was like, "From a meteor or what?" They're like, "No, like somebody busted the window out of our truck and stole a purse." So Mom was like, I was like, "Oh God!" So I look in the back of my dad's truck and I'm like, "Dang, like all this stuff's about to be just gone." Nothing was missing. None of the windows broken out. And then I look at Caleb's car and I'm like, crap. Where is the generator? I was like, well, they didn't bust any of the windows out, but I think the generator is gone. And that's when you walked up and I was like, "Hey man, was the generator on the back?" Because I think they took it. So apparently there were some thieves walking around the church. Thievery. And then we kind of just like went, I'd kind of like accepted it was gone.
Yeah. And like everyone around was angry and I get being angry, but at the end of the day, like crap happens. People inherently suck. I was not happy, but it's one of those things like being angry isn't going to change what happened. So I was just like, yeah, that sucks. Well, at the end of the day, no one's hurt. This sucks. But I was obviously, I was kind of joking about it. Like, they're never gonna be able to get that thing running. I have to like, I have to sit there and like talk to it. I'm like,
Yeah.
we got some football to watch. I need you to really. And I was like, they were never gonna get it going.
You got to rig it up a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was no shot whoever stole that was going to get it running.
No, and I mean, so someone obviously, so farther on in the story, I'm actually in line to leave, and I don't remember if someone called me or you guys walked up to me.
I think Raven or my sister, I think, went and like knocked on the window or something.
She was like, "Hey, they found your generator." And I was like, "Where?" And they had found it. There's an embankment and a massive drop off. And they said they found it down there. I thought it got tossed down, like over it. Like someone was like, yeah, screw this generator, and threw it. And I'd actually looked down there because there's a encampment, we'll call it, where one would think stolen things would be. And I actually went and looked in that general area where I thought it could be. And I just looked around, glanced around. It's a big yellow generator, like fairly easy to see. Mm-hmm. And I didn't see it. So I walked back up, gave up, went home, ready to go home. And yeah, and then we found the generator, so we still got the generator, baby.
Yeah, he was like, "Here's a generator." I was like, "What color is it?" He said, "Yellow." I was like, "That's it."
And what it is funny too is I don't remember when I lost. I usually have a bike lock that I lock it to my car essentially, and I lost it a few weeks ago, and so I just stopped doing it. Like whatever. And I've always accepted someone could easily steal it if they wanted to, and they would probably have to have a car because it's heavy and. One of those things, like, it's not a big deal. So I've always accepted it. Just never happened before. And it did, sort of. They didn't get far. They saw my name on it, and they're like, oh, gosh, this is Caleb Mitchell's. We're messing with the wrong guy.
One thing about it was, like, there was a disagreement at the tailgate, and the first thing they're like, hey, do you think it was those people? And I was like, no. Number one, those people are here every week, so that wouldn't be the case. And I'm like, why would they steal the generator too?
Yeah, and then they came back for it. Like they came back after the game to do it.
Yeah. And then they're like, well, I think they might have taken the generator to just throw you off
the scent, which would be smart.
Yeah,
smart.
Well, I think we're giving these people a lot of credit, like going like in a parking lot right by a church, which I mean, I've heard of bad omens. I think that might be one of them.
Yeah,
I don't know if I would do that.
That's tough. It's a good church, good people. I will say, I told you guys, and I don't care. I mean, listen, you can break into my car anytime you want. Please don't break a window doing it. Do it like the sketchy way.
Yeah,
they just don't break a window because I was like, if they broken out my back window. It's got the mechanicals in it. Like that would have sucked. Just like all the effort you have to go through to get that repaired. Just open the door, please. Figure it out. I did have something expensive in there. Yeah, you know, and I panicked. I was like, oh God, that's gonna suck. And no, they didn't break into my car. I didn't have my wallet at the game. I just left the tailgate and forgot to grab my wallet out of the car. And so that would have sucked too, all my credit cards. But again, I would have just gone and canceled on my phone because I have the app for it. And
Yep, people do suck.
It's not the first time we've had stuff stolen from the tailgate. People stole some tents and chairs from us one time.
That's true. We did leave all that stuff out. So
right, but again, it's like it's in G10. It was in G10.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Unfortunate, but we got the generator back.
Got it back. She's purring. She's beautiful. I haven't started her up yet. I assume she's gonna work. She's worked it's like 8 years old. It's $150. She probably works.
Is it really 8 years old?
6 years old.
Jeez.
And I only run it during football season, so it just sits the rest of the time. It's pretty impressive running.
Yeah.
I only changed the oil like twice.
We did say we should do an ad for that company. I don't even know what brand it is.
I do. Let's wait to see if it is running, and we'll do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man.
I was hoping it was stolen so I could maybe like put your sob story on Twitter about how I should get a new generator. But if this company, assuming it still works, wants to hook us up, you'll get more than you'll get ads for life. How about that?
There you go.
Lifetime ad deal. If you give me a quiet, I want a quiet one though.
Also, if that company would like to sponsor, feel free to reach out anytime. We'll give you one free ad, and then the rest of it you will have to pay for.
Right.
When we get to we do have some questions real quick. We can go ahead and get to those. What are your thoughts on the rankings? I guess for the AP Coaches Poll. Right. I mean,
They
kinda
don't
where they
matter.
should be. Yeah.
They are. I feel like they are at least in the right ballpark with 1 through, I'll say 10 with Notre Dame right now because they are just 7-1. I still don't think they're punishing them enough for that terrible loss, but they're one of the few 1-loss teams. I don't understand the SMU. They're only lost number 9. They have just as many good wins as Notre Dame. I don't understand it. Whatever. But yeah, whatever. I don't really care. I'll be honest. I mean, I'll rant about it if this person would like me to rant about it, but
I think my only thing is Penn State goes back 3 spots. Why do you put them in front of Tennessee?
they're crediting them with an Ohio State loss. That's what it is. Like they're saying Ohio State loss is better than Arkansas. And I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I guess in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter, but like they haven't beaten anybody either. Like that was their one big game to prove that they belong, and it was at home, and they scored 13 points, and one was off, and the only touchdown was off a pick 6. Like if you're going to continue to like say Tennessee's, and this is just national media, not really the AP or Coaches Poll, but like Tennessee's offense just isn't where you want it to be. I just don't see how you say Penn State's is. But like you said, it doesn't really matter.
I mean, I think if Tennessee had probably won in better fashion, they might jump. But I mean, the Ohio State, as it stands right now, based on the AP poll, is a better loss than Arkansas.
Yeah, that's true.
The AP poll is always going to justify their own poll. They do that by having Notre Dame at number 10 right now. They had them preseason high, and they're saying we still believe in our previous polls.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it's close to what probably I would have it. I do think it's funny Notre Dame. I don't think they even played this week, did they? And they went down 2 spots.
No. Yeah, but they shouldn't have been at 8 either. So
correct. What do you do at kicker?
You rolled Max Gilbert still. That's I don't think you factor in the Alabama game into those misses because of the distance in terms of like how you evaluate it. He's been good for you all year. I don't think you don't hit panic button with him yet. He's not missing extra points. Obviously, you readdress it after Mississippi State, depending on what happens there. I mean, you're not thinking about it right now. I just don't think you make the move yet.
Yeah. And it's also got to depend on like, is there anybody even close?
Also, yeah. Yep.
Because if there's not, then yeah, there's really no decision to be made. But if there's somebody like pushing him and he just won the job and now he's not getting it done, yeah, you maybe look at Josh Tuberville or whoever else. I don't know. 1 for the last 6 is not good. And I understand some of those are distance. So those are tough field goals to make, but it's just kind of the way he missed them yesterday. It was just.
Don't mishear me that I'm not disappointed in yesterday's performance. But that is you don't go away from that guy just yet. And I don't think you factor the Alabama misses in because of what they were. You factor in Kentucky alone. And yeah, you are, if there's someone close, maybe you evaluate both of them this week. If there's no one close, and then they still have to really step on him to take that. He's 12 of 18 right now. He's 6 of 7 between 30 and 39 yards. He's 4 for 6 from 40 and 49 yards on the year. Don't panic with him yet. You don't want to be 12 of 18. You don't want to be 4 for 6 from 40 to 49. You don't want to be 0 for 3 from 50 plus, but also it's 50 plus. And yeah, you just evaluate it moving forward. It's on your mind for sure, but I don't think you make the move yet.
Yep. All right. We'll see what happens in college football.
We had one more question posed us on Twitter, and I didn't get involved in it because they had already been talking for a while. So let's ask it here and talk about it real quick.
Okay.
Mason Chandler asks us, as to all Vol football fans, everyone here, I got to know where y'all stand on this one. Play Mike Matthews or keep the current wide receiver core? I think we need to see more Mike Matthews. I don't necessarily say you're going to make the move to him starting and, more or most, but I think you play him more. I think any receiver within the realm of playing right now is getting a shot because no one has owned a position except for Brew McCoy and probably Dante Thornton.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. You just need more production. So, I mean, however you get that is what you do. Chaz Nimrod made, a really good catch the other night. He also had a bad drop. Like, drops happen, but when you have an offense that's struggling, you have a quarterback that kind of needs all the confidence he can get right now in his receivers, and he's not getting that. Something has to change. You can't have those drops. Like in 2022, Tennessee had so many chunk plays where that didn't matter. Having a 10-yard penalty didn't matter as much. Now it's like you have a drop pass. I mean, it can be drive killing. So it's crucial right now. You have to figure that out. I'd like to see more Mike Matthews just to see what he's got, because right now you're not getting enough from, I think Brew McCoy, Dante Thornton have done a really good job. I don't know why Dante Thornton isn't. I mean, yeah, we can sit here and talk about Mike Matthews till we're blue in the face, but your most productive receiver so far doesn't even start.
Right.
So I don't know. It's a weird, like the rotation's weird to me. I don't really get it. But yeah, if Tennessee is going to be in talks of winning a national championship, like that has to be something that's a point of emphasis going forward.
Absolutely. Agreed.
Most important.
Most important. Let's see what I've got here. No.
Dude, I did take a picture with a guy last night going to the game. He was wearing a full uniform.
I saw that. Full kit wanker.
It was awesome.
That is sick. I can't believe they let people into the game like that. That's awesome. It's the
ball walk and everything. What do you mean?
Right, that's true. Landon, the Pride of Southland, has this thing they do before the game. It is a tradition unrivaled in college football, and it's beautiful and it's wonderful, and I always want to get there in time. The person going to the game with me yesterday had to use the bathroom, and I said hurry because we got to make it for the band. We did, because they waited till forever to go on the field because apparently kickoff went until late. So we got there in time, and Landon, this tradition just got better. The lighting up of the power tee was awesome. That was an incredible addition to night games.
It is sick.
Pride of Southland band remains undefeated. Let's hear it. BAND. Band. I think the band members, when I see them like out and about, like dressed in their garb, and I yell band, 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 they think I'm being sarcastic. Guys, I'm not. I love the band.
Yeah. My most important is Saquon Barkley's backwards hurdle. I don't know why in the world you would ever do that.
Saquon Barkley's not human.
but what the?
That was insane. Yeah.
I mean, he's probably the most freakishly athletic person I've ever seen.
Right.
Like as much as he can bench and squat, like he's a freak.
I'm glad he's on a team that's competent. Also, that throw and catch from Hurts to Devontae Smith was insane.
Yeah. Also, them in those uniforms, it just made it that much better.
Yes, they need to go permanently to the Kelly Green. Yeah. You're right. Also, just had the tailgate yesterday. It was a great time. It was long. I was tired, but it was fun.
Yeah. It was fun. Yeah, I had some Chase Thomas, friend of the pod, came by. Hung out for a little bit. You had some former baseball players come by, and Zach Daniels, Connor Pavoloni, Andrew Schultz.
I was say former Tennessee baseball players. These guys are still playing.
Okay, yeah, VFLs. Sorry.
I just want to make it clear, like their careers aren't done, man.
Yeah. Also, Tony Vitello catching the pass and taking off running was awesome.
That dude is unhinged. I love it. The ref looks at him like, "Where are you going with that? We need that." He's gonna be hated by officials in every sport.
Oh yeah, that's probably his goal, honestly. Yeah, that's I mean, he just having the best time, just being great. It's awesome.
Absolutely. You also need to give a shout out to Vol Freak. I got home last night and I enjoyed a nice cold Dr. Pepper on my recliner, just kind of relax before I went to bed. And I was like, you know what? I want to rewatch the game. And Vol Freak already had it uploaded before I sat down on my recliner.
My man.
So I watched most of the first quarter and then jumped around to some highlights before going to bed. It was nice.
Thank you. Any more most important?
No, that's it.
Okay. I think we mentioned Dylan Sampson, but we got to throw that in there as well, him breaking that record. 19 touchdowns is crazy.
Absolutely.
It's really crazy for a team that is an air raid. That's what makes it even crazier.
All they do is throw the football. It's gimmicky.
Yeah. My fail is the Louisiana Monroe assistant coach having a meltdown. Did you see that?
And what was he even mad about?
I don't know. He chases him. The guy sprints off the field, and he like sprints after him.
Yeah, I assume they're trying to get a defensive player off in time, but I don't understand why he's so urgent because he's in the middle of the field. Like you would have gotten a flag on you.
Yeah. I don't know. Some coaches, man, they just. I understand it means more, but I mean, dude, you're at Louisiana Monroe. Okay, chill out a little bit.
Right.
Do you have any?
Yeah. First one is the Clemson fans throwing trash, starting this thing that we never see in sports, and it's horrendous. They can't keep Clemson fans off the field. They can't keep their beer cans off the field. It's embarrassing. It's an embarrassment to the sport of college football. Someone responded to a post and said, Joel Klatt called this. It happens every week now. They have to make a huge rule penalty to prevent this from happening. I tweeted back and said, you're right. This all started after Texas. Texas started this, not Tennessee. Let's remember that.
Yeah.
This is not, we've never done that. No. So let's just remember that. Texas started this. I love that Texas is going to be accused of starting this. I get what people were saying about how it sets a bad precedent, but this happened all the time already. This is not new to the sport.
No.
But then that happened after. So Dabo scores a touchdown. Clemson scores a touchdown. Dabo makes a decision to kick an extra point, being down 13, right? Being down 12 instead of going for 2 and being down 11. So he had to score 2 touchdowns anyways after that, rather than 2 possessions with a touchdown, 2-point conversion, and field goal to tie it. So also Dabo is in possession of Butch Jones' chart, which is a fail. Someone tweeted, and they were like, it's far easier to score 2 touchdowns than to hope for the trifecta you laid out. And then someone was like, well, here's the thing. If you miss the 2-point conversion, it's still a 2-touchdown game. Yeah, you always go for 2 there.
Yeah.
So that's also another fail on this random person who's just bad at math.
Speaking of like coaching malpractice, Mike Elko did elect to punt down 10 with 5 minutes to go against South Carolina yesterday.
Yeah, that's tough.
Mail it in, man. Mail it in. I have Tom Herman chasing after Alex Golesh like Alex Golesh was Tony Vitello, and he was a young co-ed trying to get his phone number.
That it has to be so embarrassing for Tom Herman, which I don't think he has any shame because
he's Tom Herman.
Yeah. But you did all that and he never even looked back at you. I mean, you are like, everyone does that little guy like Kentucky did after their first touchdown yesterday. Pretty embarrassed to get beat by the little guy like you did, but they did it. Everyone does that. Alex Golesh, without making that motion, just made Tom Herman the little guy. He said, you're too small. I mean, Tom Herman had to get pulled away by his wife, which you want to know why Shane Beamer's wife is in the locker room. Why is Tom Herman's wife on the field after a loss?
I guess for that. She's the new give back coach.
I think wives should I think the only people who should be allowed to pull head coaches back are wives. If they want to get back coach, it has to be a wife from now on.
I'm down for that.
You have Sandra Bullock out there yelling at him.
Could you imagine Terry just yanking Nick Saban back?
I could imagine it, and I want to see it. I need to bring him back to coach to see that.
But not at Alabama, anywhere else.
No. Kent State.
Yeah.
He should do – when we all find out Nick Saban was cheating, he should NCAA should impose community service, and he has to go coach at Kent State for a year.
They'll probably make the college football.
Yeah, but that'd be kind of be sick though, right?
It would be cool. Yeah. But I don't want to play them.
No. On the other side of the bracket, please.
Yeah. I don't think I have anything else. I do want to say thank you to Clemson for actually posting the final score. That was good on them.
And we didn't get to see Ohio State go down, but Clemson lost and A&M lost, so playoff hopes are trending up. Which also, speaking of fails, someone on ESPN this morning said, if Tennessee finishes as a 2-loss team, it could be in trouble in the committee mini room where the winner of the Alabama LSU game could have a better resume. Neither of those teams would have a better resume with a win from the other. Tennessee would have the same win LSU would over Alabama. Alabama has a loss in Vanderbilt where they gave up 40. LSU lost to A&M where they just got trumped. I mean, dog stomped by South Carolina. A&M's fraudulent. We have the same losses and wins as those teams, except we also have a head-to-head over Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
No, there's no way a 2-loss Tennessee team doesn't get in over Alabama and LSU. Someone else, we'll see, but not those two.
Yeah.
And LSU lost in week 1 to USC. And if week 1 doesn't matter, why do we play it?
Yeah, it's a bad loss.
It's a bad loss. That's just as bad as Arkansas.
Right. Also, is Alabama, is that even a conversation? Because it's head to head. Is that not the only? Is that literally the only thing that should matter?
You play to win the game.
It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
If head to head starts to not matter anymore, which it didn't in 2022, but that wasn't about the playoffs. That was just about AP rankings, whatever. It's annoying, but whatever. If they don't matter in the playoffs, we should not play games anymore and only simulate them on paper.
Yep. Agreed. That's crazy. Well, can't wait to kind of complain about that more as we get into college football and just dumb people saying more dumb things, because that's why we've had this segment for a long time, is stupidity.
Right.
Or fail of the week. We have 2 of them. We do 2 a week because there's so much dumb in the world.
Yeah, and mainly in honor of Dick Rash.
Yes, true. All right, guys. Thank y'all for listening. We'll be back on Thursday in studio. Sorry we missed you last week in studio. That was Halloween. I forgot about that. We'll be back. Wish Joey a speedy recovery.
Yes.
It's not just a hangover. It is sickness, we think. Who knows? But thank y'all again for listening. We're bringing the boat in, and we out.